Python keeps evolving, and with 2025 slowly going to an end, it's time for you to level up your coding game. In today's video, we are breaking down top 10 Python libraries you need to know in 2025. Whether you are into AI, data science, automation, or web development, these libraries will supercharge your project. So grab your editor and let's dive in. Starting strong at number 10, we have Polars, which is basically Pandas but on steroids. Polars is insanely fast thanks to its Rust backend. It's perfect for data frames that are just too big for pandas, and in 2025, more data engineers are switching over. It has a very clean syntax, just chaining methods top to bottom, like a receipt. I also have an example here I quickly wrote where I'm creating a data frame with product, price, and quantity, and then we do a filter to keep rows with price that are greater or equal to 10, then with columns, revenue equal price multiplied by quantity, and then we group by product, which basically along with the aggregate we sum revenue per product, and lastly we sort them descending to see the winner. So if I'm running this, you will see that we get A and B. Now, as mentioned earlier, the pipeline reads top to bottom like a receipt. Columns are referenced via the acronym that I gave here, that column, so it's vectorized and fast. At number 9, we have LangChain. If you're working with AI agents or LLMs, LangChain is still the go-to framework in 2025, even though Pydantic AI also comes from behind with really fast pace. It helps you connect models like GPT-5 with tools, API, and custom workflows, making AI-powered apps way easier to build. You have here various type of providers in terms of LLM, and you can pick any of them as long as you have the API key. This is the domain that we usually call generative AI. I also have an example right here. So the key idea here is that LangChain standardizes the plumbing around prompts, models, and post-processing. And here's a short example I have written. So first of all, we have chat prompt template, which defines the system plus user roles cleanly. And then we have chat OpenAI, which I choose the model. You can swap with whatever you want in here. And after that, we have the str output parser, which is basically guaranteeing you get a clean string back. And then the functional composition, we have this, which is prompt, LLM, and then the parser. And after that, we have to invoke the chain. And printing this, we will result us in the LLM responding. You can swap models or add tools memory later without rewriting your app. That's the cool thing. As you can see here, we got the response, exactly what I was asking him in my prompt. I also structured the prompt so that we have a new system prompt telling him how to actually act, and then the user question, which you usually would give in a chat. Number 8 comes with FastAPI, still one of the fastest ways to build modern APIs in Python. With the sync support and automatic Swagger docs, it's a favorite for startups and big companies alike. In 2025, FastAPI just keeps getting better with more integration and blazing performance. Let's take a look at this tiny REST service with validation and integrative docs. The key idea here is that FastAPI generates OpenAPI Swagger UI from type hints and Pydantic models. In this example, you have item of base model, which we will basically requesting the body schema with the types and default. We have a route, which is post route into the /order, which receives the JSON and FastAPI parses and validates automatically, and then the total being equal to price multiplied by quantity, which returns the structured JSON. And if we start this using, for example, UVcorn and going into the website, you will see that refreshing this, we have the Swagger, which is basically the docs that I mentioned earlier. Let's try the request live. So if I'm giving this exactly what is needed and I'm going to execute this, I will get then 200 respond body, which is successful. But then if I'm trying to remove something and execute this again, we will get an error, which is basically 422, which is obviously meaning that we are not sending the request properly. And this is just simply out of the box. And because we already used Pydantic in our previous code, next up, number 7 will be Pydantic v2. If you care about data validation and type safety, Pydantic is your best friend. Version 2 is faster, leaner, and integrates seamlessly with FastAPI, so you can trust your data pipelines like never before. Let's see this example. So what we have here is type correction plus custom field validator. The key idea here is that Pydantic turns input of unknown quality into guaranteed shapes or races. Let's go over this one. So what we do here is that we construct user, which is username equal Alice and age 21, string to int cast is automatic. Custom validator, which should have no space, which enforces a business rule and normalizes case. The second, which is user basically, erases validation error with clear messages. And if we run this, we have two examples, which is bad name and Alice. And you will see that for Alice, everything should be okay. But then we have a validation error for user, which is basically the username that has a bad name, saying that username cannot contain spaces. Exactly what we have given. Keep your edges clean. APIs, forms, configs. So core logic can assume valid data. Coming in at 6, where we have PyTorch, more precise 2.2. It's still dominating deep learning research and production. With graph optimization and distributed training improvements, PyTorch remains the number one choices for machine learning engineers in 2025. Let's take a quick look over this simple example. Here we have end-to-end training loop for y to 2x plus 1 with noise. So the key idea here is that we have tensor, then models, loss, optimizer, and backprop updates weights. Let's explain this. We create synthetic data with noise, then we have the NN sequential, we have 1 to 8 to 1 MLP with RELU, then we loop 0 grad, then forward, then loss, then backward, then step, and we print final loss and predict for x equal 3. What to point here is that even this tiny net discovers the underlying linear relationship, proof the training loop works fine. We are halfway there at number 5, where we have DuckDB. They call it the SQLite for analytics. It lets you run the blazing fast SQL queries directly on your local files, CSV, Parquet, you name it. If you are handling datasets without a heavy database setup, DuckDB is a game changer. It's time for the example. Let me show you how we register a Panda data frame and we query it with SQL. The key idea here is that DuckDB is an in-progress analytics engine. It's no server needed. Let me explain you what we did here. We created a very small sail data frame, and then in order to make it visible to the SQL, we use this con register. And now we run an aggregate query and fetch data frame back to Pandas. Let me show you how this looks like. See? Great for ad hoc analytics, joins across CSV or Parquet, and mixing SQL with Python. At number 4, we have Ruff. It's the new Python linter and formatter built in Rust, and it's fast. Think black, flake 8, and is sort, all combined but running in milliseconds. In 2025, Ruff is becoming the standard for clean Python code. Let's see how this works. So first of all, you can create a config file. It is optional but also nice. We have this file right here, which if we run, there is no error throwing up, right? But if we run ruff check dot, you will see that it's saying that we don't use this sys because we can remove it because it's unused, right? If we do another command, which is format and dot, you will see that the formatting is also changing to a proper form. And then if we do the fix thing that they recommend, you will see that it is also removing the sys unused import that we had at the top of the file. So this is how Ruff actually works. At number 3, we have the OpenAI Python SDK. If you are building apps with GPT models, image generation, or speech recognition, this library makes integration simple and production ready. Expect even more developers to adopt it as AI continues to dominate 2025. In the example section, we have created a chat completion and we enforce JSON output. The SDK wraps auth and responses. Response format helps you get structured data. So we get the OpenAI, we previously get from the env file, we get the API key, and then we create the client. Now we have chat completion create, which is creating using the model, and we have this message given here, and the response format, as I mentioned, helps you get structured data. Now, if we print this, you will see that we are getting the data exactly as we requested. As you can see here, we have topic and bullets, exactly as we mentioned. Now, what we get out of this? Well, safer integrations when you need structured outputs for downstream code. Runner-up at number 2, we have Streamlit. Still the easiest way to build data dashboards and AI apps without touching HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. It's Python only, and in 2025, it's more powerful than ever. Perfect for prototypes, demos, and even production tools. For the example, I wanted to show you how we upload a CSV, preview it, pick columns, draw a chart, and even export. The key idea here is that build useful UI with pure Python, no HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. So in this example right here, we have the uploader, which we created in order to be able to upload, drag, and drop. And then we have the head, which is basically creating the columns and everything. It's auto-select numeric columns. We have the quick visualization, which is the line chart somewhere here. And then we have the download button, which is going to give us the opportunity to return the process's data. Let's run this and see how it looks like. This is going to open my browser, and inside the browser you will see that I have to upload a file. I have a sample data here, and now you can see that we have the data, we have the visualizer, and we even have the option to download the clean data. So we can do filtering and everything. It's pretty easy to work with it. We do revenue, for example, and vice versa. So we can even download it. So this is how it actually works. So this is perfect for prototypes, internal tools, and sharing insights fast. And finally, number 1, Pandas. Yeah, the OG data library has had a huge update. With better performance, improved nullable, D-types, and more compatibility with big data tools, Pandas is still the king of Python data wrangling in 2025. Let me show you with this example how we have modern D-types plus feature engineering plus group by summary. The key idea here is that arrow-backed D-type underscore backend equal to PyArrow in our case gives better memory and nullable types. So let's explain this. We build a small time series, convert the types to arrows basically, and then we use that assign to add ISO week in this case, and then we group by and aggregate mean in our case, and then we sort by average value. Now, if we print this, you can see that it works just fine. Now, what we have to keep in mind is that now we have cleaner pipelines and more consistent missing value handling in modern Pandas. Now, with this being the last library that I'm mentioning in this video, I'm excited to hear what is your top 10 libraries that you used or you would like to learn in 2025. Please let me know in the comments below your list. That's pretty much it for this video. If you learned something today, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video that I will upload, and drop a feedback in the comment section because I really want to know if you like this type of content. Please keep in mind that this is also more of a personal opinion, and the libraries that you saw in this list are my personal choices. Maybe it's not the same for you or for other content creators or for other developers. That was my list, so see you in the next video.